man convinces his foster daughter to unalive his wife so they can be together. This happened in Ohio. So Kevin and Lisa had been married for a few years. They had one child. He was a truck driver. She was a social worker. In July of 2011, then 16-year-old Subrina Zunich was placed with them, and they thought it would be a good fit, but it turned out this would be the worst thing that could have happened. Subrina had been a foster child her entire life. She had been diagnosed with ADHD, anxiety, depression, and bipolar disorder. And Lisa truly believed that she could give Subrina a good life, a good future. Within months of her being placed there, Kevin began taking advantage of Subrina. He would tell Subrina he loved her, he wanted to be with her, he wanted to have children with her, he wanted her to be his daughter's mother. But then Kevin started telling Subrina he wanted to get a divorce from his wife, but he was too afraid because he may lose custody of his daughter. So Kevin begins pushing Subrina to unalive his wife. He would even guilt trip her by threatening to unalive himself if she didn't do it. He would often tell the girl, we can't be together if she's around. And I can't lose custody of my daughter, so we have to do something about this. So Kevin and Subrina began to form a plan of how to get rid of his wife, Lisa. Kevin knew he had a life insurance policy in his wife's name where he would collect more than $750,000 if she was to unalive. On November 12, 2012, Kevin was out on the road working when a 911 call was placed from his home. Kevin and Lisa's daughter had called 911 to report that her now 18-year-old foster sister was violently attacking her mother. When the police arrived on the scene, 18-year-old Subrina Zunich was walking out of her house, still holding the knife. Inside the home was the body of her foster mother, Lisa, who was discovered with almost 200 knife wounds covering her entire body. Subrina was then arrested, and the investigation into the homicide began. When police interviewed Subrina, she claimed that she often had blackouts when she got angry, so she didn't remember what happened. When police told Subrina that Lisa was no longer alive, Subrina acted shocked. She was like, "What? You're telling me I unalived my mom? How could that happen?" And when Mr. Kevin came in for his interview, he had a chip that big on his shoulder. So Kevin puts all the blame on Subrina, and he tells the police that she acted alone. This was all on her. She must have just attacked Lisa because she was angry and she was bipolar and had issues. Yeah, he put it all on Subrina. Kevin wasn't even trying to help Subrina get out of this because he didn't want to be with Subrina. He wanted that insurance money, and he wanted her to go to jail for this. And while Subrina was sitting in jail, Kevin spent most of the life insurance money on himself. He paid off his home, he purchased cars, he bought another home in Florida, he even took flying lessons. Subrina started to feel like Kevin just didn't care about her or want her anymore. So in August of 2013, Subrina agreed to testify against Kevin for his role in his wife's murder. Subrina claimed Kevin used her and his love for him, and he manipulated her to get her to unalive his wife for him. Subrina said the day before the incident, Kevin was driving her to school. When he stopped the car to talk to her, he began to cry. He told her that he would end his own life if Lisa wasn't dead soon. She said, "Kevin promised me that he would bail me out if I was arrested. He promised that he would be there for me afterwards if I was caught. We would pretend like a robber had broken into the house and make it seem like they stole jewelry and leave the door wide open." Subrina said, "He convinced me that if I got caught, I was only going to get like 25 years. That was it because I was underage. I had full trust in him, and I'd never been in love before. It was all planned out. He would get the $800,000. We would sell the trailer, sell the old house, buy a new house, and we would have the perfect life, the perfect relationship together. He said that we could raise his daughter the way she needed to be raised, and that we would have the perfect life together, and that he would pay for me to go to college. It was all supposed to be a perfect lifestyle." Then Subrina admitted that Lisa had already had suspicions about the two before she died. Subrina said the weekend before Lisa was unalived, Lisa got mad. And Lisa said, "You're spending too much time with her. You're always with her." When the police asked Subrina why she came forward and testified against Kevin, she said, "It just didn't seem right. If you start thinking with your head and not your heart, you realize if someone loved you, they wouldn't ask you to do something like this. And if somebody really loved you, they wouldn't let you go down like this." So Kevin was indicted and arrested and brought in for an interrogation, and they wanted to get his side of the story. During the arrest and his interrogations, Kevin showed no remorse at all, not for Lisa and not for Subrina and not for his child. Kevin only cared about Kevin, that's it. Kevin and Lisa's then 13-year-old daughter Megan witnessed her mother's violent murder. She said, "I was hearing screaming. I was also hearing the dog barking, and I was like, what the heck is going on downstairs? So I walked down there, and there's Subrina stabbing my mother to death, and I immediately said, 'Stop, get off of her.' I was actually on top of her at one point, and she shoved me. I immediately go into the office and call 911. My sister is stabbing my mother to death. She's going to die." Subrina would later express more remorse during her sentencing hearing. Subrina said, "I am sorry to all those that I hurt. Lisa did not deserve what happened to her. I ask for forgiveness to be given to me, not for my benefit, but for those who need the healing process to begin. I can't explain how much remorse I have and how much sadness I deal with. Subrina, who is now in her late 20s, was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison with the possibility of parole. Subrina's defense attorney said, "There's no doubt in anyone's mind that Subrina would not have done this without Kevin urging her." So despite Kevin's insistence that Subrina had acted alone and done this all by herself, the jury convicted Kevin of conspiracy to commit murder and SA and battery charges. He received 42 years to life in prison. It was never about having a relationship with Subrina. He used Subrina. It's such a sad case, especially for their daughter Megan, because now she doesn't have a mother or a father or her foster sister. It really angers me that this predator used and manipulated his foster child to get what he wanted. And that was $800,000 in life insurance money and to rid himself of his wife.